Hello friends. It's no secret that sometimes the thirst for money or thrill causes people to do very dangerous and even really crazy things. Jumping from a great height, eating insects, diving with ballast actions, for which watching is terribly scary, but at the same time terribly interesting. Yes, it is inexplicable, but the fact is, most of us like to watch other people do crazy things. That is why extreme reality shows are wildly popular around the world. Look further, because we have compiled for you a list of the most extreme and reckless TV shows in history. Let's start. Darrow and Tor. The Japanese show Tor, like its predecessor Darrow, forces risky participants to strain their brains in extremely tense situations. To move from one stage of a television show to another, participants must solve puzzles. At first glance it may seem that there is nothing difficult in them, but try how your head should work when the gulf opened up under your feet. The creators of the show came up with a lot of different designs to tickle the nerves of the participants. Among them are balancing on a thin board, a niche in the wall, which is becoming smaller and smaller, as well as overcoming the slippery rise of 30 degrees. The stages are quite different, but there is something that unites them. The slightest mistake will lead to an inevitable fall. Where exactly the participants fall and how long they fly before landing is unknown. This information is kept confidential. 101 Ways to Leave the Show. When you look at how the participants of this show are tested, you ask yourself only one question: as soon as they managed not to turn gray. This American game show was first shown in June 2011. To get closer to the prize of $50,000, participants had to answer the moderator's questions correctly. If the participant gave the wrong answer, he left the show, but how exactly he did it, only the case decided. Despite the fact that the show is called 101 Ways to Leave the Show, only 25 ways were shown in 6 episodes. Among them, flying on a biplane wing, falling from a moving truck and blasting a car with a man inside. And although in the end the show was not extended for the second season, it is simply impossible to say that it is not extreme. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. The main difference of this show from all the others is its members. Its creators rightly reasoned that it would be much more interesting for viewers to watch celebrities than ordinary people. For the first time the show was released in the UK in the summer of 2002. At the very beginning of the show, 12 celebrities end up in the jungle. The location depends on the country that shoots the show. Ahead of them waiting for a lot of tests, as well as an extremely close acquaintance with insects, rats, snakes and alligators. The reason why people agree to participate in the show is, of course, money. According to rumors, British celebrities pay from £25,000 to £400,000. That is, for participation you can get up to $500,000. Fear Factor. One of the very first extreme shows on television was The Fear Factor. For the first time it was shown on the American television channel NBC in 2001. To date, the original series consists of 6 seasons and about 144 episodes. The show is very popular, and therefore it has been shown in more than 40 countries around the world. The prize for which American participants compete is $50,000. Fear Factor checks on the strength of its members and is able to break down even the most persistent. Of course, they are immersed in water, thrown into the air, forced to eat insects, raw meat and many other products that we don't even want to talk about aloud. Killer Karaoke. The main rule of this TV show, so as not to happen, do not stop singing. It sounds like a trifle, but in fact, participants must continue to sing in a truly hellish conditions. They are forced to crawl through tunnels with rats and crickets, lowered into the water, infested with snakes, pushed, thrown and in every way distract. No wonder that in such conditions, even the most desperate lovers of singing stumble, and often singing turns into a real cry of horror. All this for the final cash prize of $10,000. The Challenge. The final show from our list was not accidentally called The Challenge. Participants actually face a variety of dangerous and crazy tests. Each of the 30 seasons had its own theme. The fights of the teams differed in name, atmosphere and general atmosphere. For example, in the Battle of the Excise season, participants were recruited among the parting pairs, which added to the heat of what was happening. Interestingly, the same people, the so-called veterans, often took part in the show. That is, they voluntarily returned to check their willpower and nerves again and of course, get money. So, one of the participants, Johnny Bananas, earned for participating in the challenge about $630,000. From what he saw, chills run over the skin. What kind of madness people are not solved, right? Do you think you could repeat something like that? Be sure to write in the comments. And that's all for today.